Hey, the BeerBiceps guy brings you TRS clips. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell icon. So I was recently hanging out with this Colombian girl. She was the cinematographer at a shoot I was at, and she's been in India for 6 months now. She's actually been stuck in India because of COVID. I asked her, "What have you noticed about India that separates it as a society? Like, what's different about the people here?" She's like, "There's a lot of beautiful things like spiritual sensibilities and empathy, and a sense of warmth and friendliness." But she's like, "There's way too many internal battles people are having here." So I asked her, "What do you mean? Like insecurity?" She's like, "No, not insecurity." She's like, "Everyone has an ego about themselves, and the sense of ego is extremely strong here." And that again echoes your status driven point that you made, where everyone's fighting for, or I should be respected more and I should be respected more. In fact, I remember early on when I co-founded one of my failed startups with someone, that guy had told me specifically that, "Dude, the one thing I looked for in my own career always is a respect. I don't want money. I don't want anything. I want respect." And I told him, "Okay." But the thing is, I was a YouTuber by that point, and I was automatically getting the bhav everywhere we went. I was getting the attention. And that's why he kind of drifted even as a co founder. And then when I thought about it over the years, I was like, no, it wasn't respect. It was this ego massage. Like, because I mean, that's what masks itself as samman and these kind of concepts which are very deeply ingrained in our culture. And the second thing I want to kind of talk about is now in that book, they spoke about how throughout the last 200 years, there's been capitalism and socialism and communism and all these different governance systems where every country has thought our system is the best, our system is the best. And we've gradually seen all of them fail in one way or another. They thought that capitalism was the answer. They thought that America and Europe's model was the answer. And now suddenly Brexit is happening. America's elected Donald Trump. Things are collapsing everywhere. So there's no answer anymore. And Yuval Noah Harari's intuition is that the whole world is going to move back to what it was in ancient times, in terms of China's going to go back to its own ancient version of itself, where they had one government that rules everything, that thinks that we are the shit, not just in China, but all over the world. Russia thinks that there's going to be one czar, which is Putin. India might become a collection of kingdoms just like it was. And he's actually written about this in the book.
Interesting. I've not read the book. Yeah. But
okay, really?
I've read the previous book, Sapiens. I've not read the book, second one. I've never got a chance to look at it. But I'll tell you what is interesting, what he's saying. And it's actually true. See, society adopted religion, capitalism, or anything else to collaborate at large scale. But when you collaborate at large scale, automatically some people become more successful, right? And unless we accept the wealth divide, we will say, no, yaar, usko itna kaise fayda ho gaya, come back. So crab mentality brings it down. We will not care about that we are all richer than before, because wealth is not zero sum, right? But the fundamental thing is status is zero sum, so we'll pull people down, right? See, I remember one person, one very senior banker had told me, Kunal, कि इस country में लोग हम बड़ा बनाते हैं, भगवान बनाते हैं और फिर उनका विसर्जन कर देते हैं, right? So, and therefore you will notice one thing about all the people who are affluent over here, they'll always do this. उनका Twitter में ऐसा emoji आएगा हमेशा, right? The reason is that because flashing wealth in this country is considered to be bad. Like when I sold my company, the first advice I got is that Kunal, कोई बड़ा कार मत लेना, drive simple car, do this thing, because people will hate your success and will work very hard to pull you down. And the thing is, why are we like that? What if we all became wealthy? What if all of us income grows? Because that's how many countries' income per capita has gone from $2,000 to $50,000, right? But we are fundamentally not accepting that part of the nation mindset. Now, to your point about why we will probably go into this borders is very simple. Let's take a small example. If you go back in 500 years ago, the person who entertained used to be poorer than the person who got entertained, right? But slowly, as they found distribution, let's say that unko theater mil gaya bada sa, and 400 people could watch something, then suddenly the person who entertained became richer than the person who's being entertained. Then they got cinema. Then they became really rich. Now they have found internet, and they'll become even more richer because the distribution is significantly high now. But there's an interesting angle to this. What is happening with education? you tell me now that everybody is learning on Zoom, every student is learning on Zoom, why shouldn't physics be taught by the best teacher of India to everybody in this country? And this is going to be a hard question to answer. Because if you do that, yes, everybody will like physics because there is this extraordinary teacher who's come to start teaching physics now. But what about all the other millions of teachers who have been teaching physics, maybe slightly poorly or extremely poorly, right? And suddenly this creates wealth in that teacher. And teacher was never a wealthy profession. But if you notice one thing, all the YouTube teachers which are really good, they're actually entertainers. They make physics really interesting. But our teachers did not make things interesting for us because they were teachers, they had power, they had respect. Nahi samajh mein aata to maar milti thi, right? And the point is that this is going to create a very, very different society. And suddenly we'll say, yaar, ye to bahut kuch change ho gaya. But the problem is, can you stop this change now? COVID is like a catalyst of future. It has accelerated future. Boom, 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 boom. It's there, right? And you can't stop it. And therefore, countries are going to behave differently. Families are going to behave differently. And we don't know if the world needs so many people. One of the things that I remember watching a documentary which talks about this, before cars were invented, the horse population went like this. And as soon as the car came, the population just went down in 10 years. Because you do not need so many of them. Now, this is a very scary possibility because human beings are not horses. So suddenly, if you have to keep giving them free income to survive, will they be happy with it? And we are entering fairly scary possibilities that we don't even have the mechanism to prevent a civil unrest.
Yep.
We are assuming that सब कुछ peaceful chalega. What if it's not? What if COVID has killed 50% of jobs for long tail? And what if we are not going to get them? Like we all used to take cabs now. Millions of drivers are not having a job. What happens now? Right? So the thing is, the moment a country becomes emotionally charged, you do not know what outcome it creates because it behaves like a mob after that. And I think to me, imagining 2060 for India seems like a very hard thing because we are going to go through a lot of pain before we get there. And you know, it's a fun story, but Ranveer, if you go and look at every country that made it big, first went through insane amount of crisis. It almost looks like it's a compulsory step before you become big in life.